Hey everybody, it's the DK Adventure Co. Kyle here, and as you can see, it's fall. Today I've got a gear review for you. This is the Nest Camp Coffee Pour Over Kit from VSSL. So it's an all-in-one kit for grinding, brewing, and drinking coffee at camp. I'll break it down and then give it a test and tell you my thoughts on it. Everything we see here today was paid for by the DK Adventure Co., not sponsored in any way. The brand here is called VSSL, VSSL. They're a company based out of British Columbia, Canada, and they normally specialize in modular systems where you can store camping and survival gear. So they're like these aluminum tubes, and you can mix and match these modular little kits. Pretty neat, you know, you clip them onto your backpack and then you have a whole kit for fire starting, first aid, fishing, what have you. They've previously put out a coffee grinder, but this system I'm looking at today is their first foray into coffee brewing. All right, so here it is. It's really no bigger than a thermos, maybe a tall thermos, and this version comes in at 36.3 ounces total. There are a couple variants of the VSSL Nest pour over, and I'll talk about that in a second, but first let's break down everything inside of here. Going from top to bottom, let's unscrew it. Each one is threaded with screw, and it's very easy to disassemble. You just unscrew it. So first of all, in the top, we've got a coffee mug. There's nothing in there now, and it's totally empty in here. This is recommended to store your coffee beans when you're traveling, so pack this full of your beans and seal it up. Below that is a lid, standard coffee lid. So this fits onto the mug for when you're drinking your coffee here. The next part of it is the pour over dripper. So here's the pour over dripper. It's got the slit in the bottom of it, and it comes with this stainless steel reusable mesh filter that fits right in. So that's packed inside. Next, if you've got one, there's room to put the grinder in. The grinder is not included with this kit. It's separate, but they have the ability to store it inside of it. So if you do have one, it's made to work with the whole system. More on this grinder in a bit. Next, this piece is really just meant to store the grinder if you've got one. If not, it's a bit superfluous and it doesn't really do anything. It's just a hollow plastic area. And finally, this bottom part, same as the top, these are identical. It's a mug. So essentially what you've got here is a way to make coffee and have an all-in-one system. This can do coffee for 2 people since you've got 2 mugs. So you've got your coffee in here, you brew it with the pour over and the filter. You've got the grinder to grind the beans, and then enjoy it with the coffee, and you've even got a lid for one of the cups. So in theory, all you need to do with this system is just add coffee and hot water, and you've got a way to make coffee in a nice compact system. VSSL sells 2 variants of this system. They're the exact same parts, just one comes with more parts than the other. So this is the cheaper variant. It runs $50. It's got a mug, the dripper and filter, and the lid. So it's the more compact version. As you can see, when you've got it all together, it's just 3 pieces. And then the more expensive variant has the extra mug and the storage for the grinder. And this kit runs you $75. So that's a difference of $25. The only difference is being that this one just has the mug and the grinder storage. Like I said, the grinder does come separately. This one is the Java G25 grinder. They make 2 different sizes. This one can grind up to 30 grams of coffee, and it's gonna run you a staggering $160 for this. So that means everything you see on the table in front of me totals out to a whopping $235 US. Whew, I know that's steep, and I wouldn't blame you if you closed the video and turned away as soon as you hear that sticker price, because boy, it's high. I mean, it's a premium product. There's no denying that. It's aimed at the premium camping gear market, and it's got premium quality in it though. Let's go ahead and brew a cup of coffee and see how it performs. I've got a kettle of water on my camp stove. Let's go ahead and grind up the beans. Vessel recommends 25 grams of beans for 1 10-ounce cup of coffee. So it's really good build quality, the grinder here. It's aircraft grade aluminum, they claim, and it is really high build. Like, this is super solid and you really feel like you could bash this around. On the top, it's got a carabiner style loop, so you can hang this on a backpack loop or strap, and you undo the handle, and then it has a little handle that pops off here. Little button springs out. Feels kind of nice. And then there's your grinder in there. It uses a burr grinder, if you're familiar with grinder types. And then the bottom comes off. And it's got the coffee storage. Neat feature is there's a hidden little handle down here that actually attaches to the top here to give you a little more leverage. I'll show you how it works grinding the beans. It's got an amazing feel in your hand. Like, it just feels super solid, and the grind is so easy. It's really smooth. I'm barely putting any pressure on it, just enough to turn the crank. Okay, all done. It took me about 2 minutes of grinding to process all of the coffee in this hopper, which was 20 grams on medium grind. Ooh, oh, that's a little overfull, but that's what it looks like. So nice. All right, my water's up at temp, so next step is wet your filter and warm up your vessel. So just do a splash of hot water around, and that's just gonna pre-wet your filter and get your vessel a little preheated. Next, of course, take your ground coffee and put it in there. Level it out a bit. Like I said, this is just over 20 grams of medium ground coffee. Then you pour. So just do a little around and then let it soak and let it bloom for a bit. As it goes down, just keep pouring. Pour in circles. Don't let it overflow. Vessel says if you've dialed in your grind to what they recommend, this whole process should take about 3 minutes from when you start pouring the water to having brewed 10 ounces of coffee. All right, we're all done. Voila. 1 fresh cup of coffee, courtesy of our Vessel Nest Pour Over Kit. Let's give it a taste. That's good. The system makes a good cup of coffee. So let's talk about these products. What I like, what I don't like, who I think this is for, and if it's good overall. First of all, remember that what you see in front of you is actually 2 different kits you can get. So kit 1 is this. All this is $50. And then kit 2 is everything together. All that's $75. And that's not counting the grinder, which is separate altogether, and I'll look at that in a minute. The version 1 of the kit, that's just 1 mug with the pour over and the lid at $50. It's a little steep for just a few things, but I think it's really worth it if you break down what it comes with. So on its own, they sell these mugs. Vessel sells them for $25. They're insulated stainless steel, come with the lid. So that's half your cost there. And then you've got another $25 for the pour over dripper and the filter. And then of course, having the convenience of it all together. I think that's really running the top range of your pour over drippers, but I think it's worth it for the price, given that it all nests together. I've seen, comparable pour over drippers on the market made of stainless steel like this for, $35 to $40. Those don't have a kit that fit together with the mug. So I think that added convenience does make it a good value. If you're good and into coffee, that is. If you're just wanting, cowboy coffee, or if you just have a Hario V60 travel version, plastic one, that'll do you fine. I'm just interested in testing out cool gear, and for me this is a pretty cool piece of gear, and I definitely think it's worth it for the smaller kit. Where it definitely gets out of that territory, I think, is for the larger kit, including the second mug and the holder for the grinder, $75 extra. So like I said, the mug is $25 on its own, so that's adding $25 onto here. You don't get a second lid though, you get this grinder holder instead. If you don't have a grinder that can fit into this, absolutely not worth it at all. All you're getting is an extra mug and no lid, and you could just go buy a mug separately if you wanted to add an extra mug to this kit. So the $75 kit I don't necessarily think is worth it unless you have a grinder. That is a different conversation entirely though, because your grinder may or may not fit in here. It is designed to fit Vessel's grinder. Now, that's not to say that other grinders on the market won't fit in there, but you just have to be sure that it will if you're picking up this particular version of it. Some more pros, first of all, it's all one self-contained system. That's really cool, and I don't really see this on the market, and I wish more brands were doing it, because it's just really convenient to just have these 3 nesting items, and then you've got everything you need to brew coffee. Another pro, it's easy to use, and it makes a really good cup of coffee. I have no complaints about anything I've brewed on this so far. Now, of course, you're gonna want high quality coffee for your grounds, but that goes to say for any coffee system. But this is really easy to use. The learning curve isn't bad at all. If you've made pour over coffees before, this is super easy, and you're gonna know how to use this pretty intuitively. Another pro is they include the stainless steel mesh filter. It's reusable, so that helps you cut down on waste. I haven't had too many problems using this filter so far. I will say it can be a bit of a pain to clean, but you just need to dump it out and rinse it out. So it takes a little more work to keep it clean. Paper filter, all you gotta do is pull it out and toss it. In terms of taste quality, I'm gonna have to compare paper versus this filter to see which one tastes better. So far, this has been good, and I'm glad that they include this. They very could have easily nickeled and dimed you and had this for, I don't know, an additional $5 to $8 or something like that. So including this, and it's a reusable filter, that's a pro. I honestly don't really have any major cons with this kit as it stands. It's portable, it's lightweight, it keeps your coffee warm, it's easy to use. No major cons here. So I definitely recommend this if you love coffee, you like testing out different types of coffee gear, and you're looking for one all-in-one solution that you can brew your coffee in. Granted, it does have that $50 to $75 price tag. So you just got to ask yourself if it's worth it to you. There are so many ways of making coffee out there that's cheaper than this. You can do cowboy coffee, you can do a drip pour over filter, you can do French press, and all of that is going to be a little bit lower cost or comparable to this. But I think it's worth it for the novelty of having everything in one, all-in-one system that you can pack up and go. So you don't have to worry about all kinds of different coffee gear in your bag. You just have everything, mugs, filter, lid, all in. Those are my thoughts on the Nest pour over coffee kit. So as an extra bonus review, also going to take a little look at the Java 25 grinder that Vessel makes. Remember, this is entirely separate. It doesn't come with the kit. It's the most premium item here. So it's very impressive, and it ought to be for the price that it comes at. This is the most solid coffee grinder I've ever held in my hand. It's, better than like the one I have on my counter in my kitchen at home. It's super premium feeling all around. The build quality, it's like so solid, and everything works really well. You've got the thoughtful design of having the detachable handle that nests underneath in the grinder. It fits underneath in kind of a secret little hidey hole back here. Very cool, and then hides in there. and then this snaps closed, and it has a carabiner seal on the top. The lid, easy to get into, pops right open. It's got really high quality burr. It's a super solid product all around. The sticking point here for this product is, of course, the price. Like I said, $160. It's an investment, and it ought to be. This feels like it will last a lifetime, and it's really geared towards premium coffee aficionados. If you look at what's out there, high top of the line grinders, this is not too outrageous of a price. If you're looking at premium hand coffee grinders, $150 to $200 is about the range you're looking at. Where this might seem crazy is if you're used to, you know, the camping coffee grinders that you see at like REI or Dick's Sporting Goods or something. You know, they're made of cheap plastic parts. They might use blades instead of a burr, or if they do have a burr, it might be kind of a lower quality one that won't last very long. Those are pretty cheap, you know, I don't know, $40, $50 for something like that on the high end. And this is the super high end. The only con I have about this is the price. It's just staggeringly expensive. I was mulling over for years on whether to get this or not, and I finally just decided to take the plunge after I saw that they had that pour over kit where this could fit inside. To me, that's a huge plus, having this modular attachment. And it fits right in this kit, and then you can put the mug on top and it works out. So that's why I got this. I also got it just because I'm a gearhead. I love testing interesting camping gear. I love coffee. So for me, this really, you know, jumped out to me as a product that I really wanted to get my hands on. And now that I have, I'm still dealing with the sting of that price. I'm hoping down the line, when I've forgotten about it, this will still be a product that I use for years to come. It definitely feels that way from everything. It's the easiest to use hand grinder I've ever used. It's super solid. It's geared towards the outdoors. It fits in this coffee kit. This, I think, is going to be my go-to coffee kit for car camping. Throw this in my camp kitchen bag and just be done with it. Just got to bring the coffee along. Well, those are my thoughts today on the Vessel Nest pour over coffee kit. Overall, I think if you don't get the grinder and you just do the single person coffee kit, I think it's a great piece of gear. It's very convenient and easy to use. If you are a coffee aficionado ready to take the plunge, I think that the grinder is a fine addition to the kit, and then you can upgrade it and have the attachment, or you can include the grinder with your whole kit. It's an all-in-one solution. I'm looking forward to years of use out of this. I love drinking coffee at camp, and I love experimenting with new gear and new ways to make coffee. I hope you enjoyed the review. Let us know in the comments. Are you interested in camping coffee gear? Do you think this looks interesting? This is a brand new product. It just came out in October 2023. This is exciting that I'm able to get my hands on this and test it. So I hope everybody out there is having a great day. Be sure to check out DK Adventure Co.'s other YouTube channels. You know, we do camping trips, we do reviews of gear, we do camping recipes. So just give us a like and a subscribe if you like what we're doing here. So until next time, see you later.